Hey everyone, wanted to do this video on how to approach your mortgage and the price of your home. And so this is for my clients, but my agents feel free to use this for your clients as well. So I always get questions when I've got a buyer's agent of, well, I got to find out how much I'm going to, how much I can afford, and I don't want to spend too much, etc. And that really starts with a conversation with a loan officer. Now, one of the questions I always ask back to that is, are you talking about principal, interest, tax, and insurance, or are you talking about just principal and interest? In a lot of cases, people understand that, know what to do, but in other cases, they don't. And so again, looking at talking to a lender. So we all know principal and interest is the mortgage amount, what the principal is that you're paying towards, and what your interest that you're paying. And then there's taxes and insurance. Taxes are based on what the assessed value of the property is, and insurance obviously based on what your coverage is and your company. So to put this all in perspective and how I coach people to go ahead and look at this process is this. First of all, and I know this sounds untoward for some of you, but when you talk to the lender, and I would talk to talk to one, obviously, but feel free to talk two or three and feel where your comfort level is. But I tell people, and the lenders that I use already know this. I tell my clients, talk to the lender and find out what the absolute maximum amount that you can afford, what that payment is, and what that purchase price is. And again, obviously, it depends on what the prevailing interest rate is, and maybe some programs. And I get, what are you telling me to do that for? I don't want to go that high. I got it. I don't want you to go that high either. Because if you're maxed out as far as the maximum amount that you can afford, that leaves very little room for pleasure, fun, family, or emergencies. But this is the reason why. If you find out what the absolute maximum is that you can afford, you now know that no matter what, it could be the perfect home. You can't buy it if it's above that. You shouldn't anyway. Okay, but because that's your max, but you now have an absolute ceiling. So now you've got that. Now you can't go above that. Then I tell my buyers, okay, so what are you paying in rent right now? Let's say they're saying $2,200. I say, are you really comfortable with that? Yeah, it's really easy. I say, okay, now talk to the lender and find out what a payment of $2,200, again, principal, interest, taxes, insurance, will get you. We're not talking about adding homeowners association dues, although you can do that too. That can't hurt. Now you have essentially your floor. This is what you're used to paying. This is good. Hey, I can do that with absolute ease. Then I ask my buyers, okay, what are you comfortable paying? It's not what this is really easy. It's what are you comfortable paying? And let's say they say, well, I'm comfortable paying $2,800 a month. Okay, now talk to the lender. What will $2,800 a month buy you in home value? Now you have your absolute ceiling, you have essentially your floor, and then you have what you're comfortable. What it is going to, you're very comfortable paying this. This isn't going to be a stretch. This isn't going to be a problem. Now maybe go back to them and say, okay, I can actually really, I'm comfortable. It's a stretch, but I can do it without any danger to my income, to ownership, to family stability, financial stability. I can do $3,000 a month. Now get the lender to tell you what that will buy you with purchase price. So now you have your stretch, you have your base. And what I find is usually in there is you find the home that you want and you're comfortable with that and you're happy with that. If you try and go too high without talking to a lender, then you get disappointed. If you decide too low, then you say, well, there's nothing out there that I want to buy. But by setting these limits, the top, hey, this is not a problem. Hey, I'm comfortable paying this. And yes, this is my stretch. Now you have the facility to make good, cogent decisions on what you're going to buy, what areas you can afford, and how things will go, and what the budgetary impact will be for your income. All right. Happy to answer any questions, but thank you for listening.